This one was listed. Let me get it.
Okay, I'll just ship package. I'll ship package, check expires, offer on my list. I got it. No problem on my end.
You know, I mean, again, they're buying some listed deals, but I just wouldn't make it like your main strategy, if that makes sense.
No problem. I'll shift the plan. That's all. I'm with you either way, bro.
All right, so check this. Boom. Now on the back end, also, you see at the top, we got the deal submission link. This will take you straight to the retail fund submission, right? I'm only asking you for the information that we need, right? So your name, email, phone number. Obviously, we need your contact, reaching out, setting up inspections, all the fun stuff. Our outreach process to sellers, what we have found is that when you guys submit a deal, right? You got a contract, you submit it through. Once we send it to the fund, we're looking at a 48-hour turnaround just to get the initial offer back, right? Now, if that offer comes down a little bit lower than we're expecting or a little bit lower than what we submitted to that, I always counter, right? So that counter can take an additional day, sometimes two, right? So all in, we're already here at 4 days, 4 or 5 days with the seller not hearing from anybody. So we found that it makes it easy and efficient by allowing our transaction coordinator to reach out to the seller so they can set expectations. Hey, Miss Seller, I'm the closing coordinator for your property at 123 Main Street. Just wanted to give you a quick call so I could let you know what to expect moving forward. We're waiting to hear back from our inspectors. As soon as we hear something, I'll let you know, right? Something simple like that. But that way, everyone's in communication. We're all on the same page, and we can push it through, right? Information that's needed. We got property address, obviously, year built, square footage, bed, bath count, contract price. Whenever you're submitting the contract price, we ask that you put the price to us, right? Or price to you. What is the AB contract amount? Because again, Lisa, who underwrites these deals, is going to NAR, going to Zillow, checking the comps. We're submitting it at retail value, right? So we need to know how much wiggle room we got. If we're true partners, right, and we're getting these retail offers, we need to know how much wiggle room we have when we're submitting the deals. And then if it does come to a counter, we have that information right there in front of us where we can make educated decisions. I'm never going to accept an offer before I first call our partner and say, hey, this is where we're at. We got a 45K spread in here, splitting that down. You want to roll with it? Does that work for you? Let's go, right? HOA amount and taxes are important. Again, going back, they are a buy and hold investor. So identifying in your acquisitions process, if there's an HOA on the property, if there is, what is that amount, right? Is it $200 a year? Is there a monthly HOA? Like, please give us that information because we plug that directly into the back-end system when we're submitting to the funds, right? Property taxes, same gig. Occupancy at closing, they will buy tenant-occupied properties. So we need to know, is it going to be delivered vacant or is it going to have a tenant at close, right? If there's a lease in place, what are the terms? When does the lease end, right? If it was written up in July 2021, it's going to end in July 2022. Just put that there. Lease ends July 2022. Monthly lease amount, $700, right? You don't have to go super detailed, just the information that we would need to know to present to our investors. Closing date, good for us to know what the closing date is on the contract. We ask for a 30-day close to be safe. Now, I say that lightly, depending which fund is making a move. After inspections are done, Retail Fund 1 asks for 21 days. Fund 2 asks for 10 days post-inspection, right? But if we're already in a week, sometimes a little bit more to get the inspections completed, and we're waiting 24 to 48 hours to get the inspection reports back, by the time we sign the contract, we could already be in 10 days to a week, right? So anyways, 30-day close is pretty standard. If you guys could get 35 to be safe, that's great. Property condition, you guys don't have to go super detailed here. Again, we submit these things through in many cases without pictures, but if you can just let us know, is it in fair condition, good condition, great condition, we plug that into the system as well. If the house is in poor condition, don't submit it, right? Going back to the rehab levels, they're not going to make an offer on a full gut, right? Or a fire damaged property or something that has serious foundation issues. We're looking for medium-sized rehabs or turnkey properties, right? That's a sweet spot. Inspection contact, we just ask for the seller's information. Again, you guys already have these deals under contract. Your interest is protected. This helps us, our transaction coordinator, and we just hired a full-time inspection. So we have transaction coordinator. We just brought on an inspection coordinator. So they handle everything on the back end to make sure that everyone's on the same page. Inspections take place, right? And then lastly, AB contract. Again, if you got these deals under contract, we're bringing you a full price offer that's next level, right? AB contract, we open each file whenever you submit a deal. After Lisa underwrites it and we confirm, yes, this looks like it makes sense, looks like it fits the buy box, we'll submit it. We open up a file with each property, right? That starts that file process and we push it through, right? So pretty simple, but we've really spent time on building out this system so we can make your job as wholesalers easy and efficient, right? I think of it like, running a relay race, right? You guys are getting the contracts, AB, it fits the buy box. We want you to hand off that baton and not have to worry about the headache of going through that process, tracking down the seller, making sure everyone's on the same page with inspections, right? We've ironed out this closing process so you guys can focus on getting deals, and we're going to get you the most amount of money for your properties across the board.
And can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So while pictures are not necessary, I will tell you, like, for example, right now I had to jump off to take a very important phone call for an inspection that came back and I'm having to fight it. So that is where pictures do come in handy. So they're not necessary, but they definitely work for our advantage. So if you can get them, please try. Even if you don't take them and they have them, however is fine. The more information you can gather is better. If there is a tenant in place or there is somebody living in the property, I need to know that up front in the submission. I need to know what their rent amount is, and I need to know the lease terms. That I have to submit. When I submit the deals, I have to submit it with that knowledge. This is imperative. I got one submitted and they were like, oh, the tenant's there, but they'll be out before closing. And come to find out, I call the seller because that's my job. I talk to them and she's like, no, my tenant's actually here until December. And that's not true. And they're still here. So anyway, now that that's been accepted, it's a whole mess. So please make sure if there's a tenant in place, I have all the information. If the offer gets accepted and picked up from the fund, I will also, and of course we can address this later, but then I will need a copy of the lease and a payment ledger. We will get to that, later once we cross that bridge. But up front, I need to know if the house is vacant or occupied, if it's tenant or owner, and if it's tenant, I need to know lease terms and monthly rent amount that they collect. So those are very important up front. If there's HOA information, please ask for HOA information. That can make or break a deal as well. So.
Awesome. You guys have any questions up front?
I had a question. Just so we're clear, when it comes to the contract amount, you're saying you want to know what we got the contract with the seller for before our fee, correct? What the seller needs to make?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
That just gives us a roadmap where, again, we can open up each file, right? Even attaching the contract. full transparency, like you guys got the contract. We can't do anything to step in, try to steal your deal, right? Which is a common question you have wholesalers asking. Anyone that's been in this industry long enough knows that's not how it works, right? So again, we've kind of just built out this process where you guys let us know what your contract's at, and we're going to fight on your behalf to get these offers as high as we can, right?
Right, and it benefits both of us.
Yeah,
that makes sense, right? The more money you can push for, we both get to split more money.
exactly. And we got a process down with how we counter too, right? So again, if it comes down a little bit lower, I'm going to fight for as high of an offer as we can get. One of our partners is going to make $60K this month after splits, right? And he's been in the industry for 3 months, right? Just by these hedge fund offers. It's crazy. Watch. Just so you got a little proof of concept. Okay, you erase plantation because that's on the board, right? All right. So Chandler, Denver property, it needed $80,000 of repairs. They're buying it at $420,000. That's 5112. We can look at them actually. Let's do this. Can you turn your volume down, Lisa? Let's do this. We'll look these up just so you guys can kind of get a feel for where we're landing. We just inked this one up. All right, so we got a 291 offer on this. Plantation Court. His estimate's putting it at 287.
You guys got the offer from the hedge for 290?
Correct.
Our contract.
What was the lockup, if you don't mind me asking?
What was his lockup?
245.
245.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so that was with our partner.
So
That's a
even
quick
though
20.
they're paying retail, if we could try to get them
Yeah.
slightly under.
Yeah, so obviously with them paying retail, I'm not encouraging you guys go out there and get these contracts at retail value, right?
So,
Yeah, because I don't want you to be disappointed, right? But what we're saying is more cases than not, especially in the heavy buy box areas, Atlanta, Charlotte, Raleigh, Jacksonville, Tampa, Orlando, Nashville, doubling down there, they're swinging in strong in these areas, right? So if we can get a contract that's, again, a retail seller that's like on the fence, close to selling, and you can just get them down, like his estimate says 287, you have the conversation like, hey, your house looks like a great property, looks like it's a great fit for us. Love to make the deal work. In fact, I'm pretty confident we can come in higher than any other cash buyer in the area. My only request is this. If you were to list your house tomorrow and it sold for 287 and you paid a real estate agent the 6% real estate commissions, right? Bringing it down to that number, is that a price range that you might be willing to work with, right? Now, I'm not, on the other side of that, I'm also not telling you guys to lock these deals up retail value minus what you would pay an agent across the board, but I'm just giving that as an example for, hey, for the sellers that are gung-ho about wanting retail, right? I want retail, I want full price. You can put that into your conversation like, hey, I believe I can meet you at what you want for the house. My goal is to get you the highest amount possible. My only request is this. Let's say we listed your house tomorrow and it sold for $290, full price. You still have to pay your real estate agent 6% commission, right? Would you be willing to meet me at that number after we subtract that amount? If so, let's get it signed, right?
you also have to pay your closing costs, and then you have to worry about people walking through your house too. So
Yeah.
You're offering.
Yeah, so you're also telling them, hey, even if you did have a full price offer, you'd still have someone that's going to beat you down on inspection contingencies. You'd still probably have to pay closing costs. Like, we're handling all that, right? So
That was my other question as far as inspection, right? So usually when I'm putting the 30 days out, or depending on my market, sometimes it's a little further out because I've partnered with real estate agents before as well, and sometimes they need more time
Can I
just
stop
to.
him right there?
Let him finish.
Well, it's important.
Okay.
And this is what I was going to say. Silas, I'm sorry. I just have one
No worries.
very important thing for you guys. Because if I submit something, one, I don't submit it now because our hands have been slapped for it one too many times. Please do not submit me anything that is already listed on the MLS.
Well,
Yeah, no. I work in the reverse, right? So I'll work with an agent that will find
Okay,
me.
then that's fine.
perfect.
Okay.
The pocket listings. Yeah, that's perfect.
Exactly. But as far as the inspection, I'll usually use the inspection period as a reason why it would take 30 days or maybe a little bit more sometimes, right? I'll say, hey, sometimes we have a couple of different guys. We have a guy that looks at the foundation. We have a guy that looks at the electrical. So sometimes it takes a little time to get all these guys over there. As far as inspection, are there people actually going, or you guys, the hedge can just do it all, virtually and
Yeah, we line up inspections virtually.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so all that stuff is handled. Transaction. So
I do all of that.
yeah, Lisa handles that end. So basically, whenever a deal comes through, let's do this. I'll show you guys our whole back end, right? Deal comes through, it goes to our back-end submission folder, right? After you guys submit this into our system, pulls up in the back end, right? Boom. We take that every single day, all the information we need, we submit it, plug it into the system, boom, that's the submission, right? After that submission takes place, we expect to hear back with the initial offer, roughly 48 hours, right? I would say on average, 2 days is about the sweet spot where we get the offer through. If they meet us at full asking, which happens quite frequently, we go ahead and we work towards inspection right away. If the offer is a little bit lower than we want, at that point, I counter, and that counter could take 1 to 2 days, right? So 24 to 48 hours from that counter. So at that point, let's say we do have to counter, we're in at what, 4 days, 4 or 5 days? That point, we work towards inspection. Inspection, dial in probably, we can expect maybe a week max, right? We get in touch with the inspector.
I'm wondering, how do you guys phrase it to the sellers as far as inspection if no one's coming, right? If the seller's okay.
People are coming.
Yeah, the hedge fund does bring on third-party inspectors, right?
So they actually bring someone there.
Correct.
Cool. Okay, great. That helps.
So Silas, what happens is when I get the thumbs up to schedule the inspection, which is via email, what he meant is I virtually, I communicate to them. I have my contact people with the funds who send out an actual person. And these are companies that are partnered with the investor companies. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So they are actual real inspectors that are going to go and inspect the house. So usually, and Ben's right. So they're really flexible. So I usually try to tell people, I'll call the seller or text the seller and I say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I'm transaction coordinator working with Silas. I wanted to touch base with you on your property at 123 Main Street. Our inspector is wondering when a good time and convenient, day and time would be to come out and inspect the home for you or for us. And then I say, we're really flexible, just as long as I would say if we give the hedge fund a 48-hour notice, so within 2 days they can get out. I try not to do it next day just because, one, that's really hard on them trying to squeeze it in and I can't always guarantee it. But if I can get a 48-hour heads up, they can be out there within 2 to 3 days. If the seller needs the next week, then that's even better. But usually the inspections take place within a week of my thumbs up.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yes. So yeah, it's a pretty efficient process, especially if they want the house, right? Especially if it's in a desired area.
I got a quick question, Ben. I
Yeah.
get a lot of offers from Zillow, Redfin. Many realtors have approached me and my dad so far as putting up the property. Since we're not dealing with MLS, I know how to buzz for Fishbowls on all markets. I know how to buzz for Zillow. I know how to buzz hedge fund. SPOs on Zillow and Redfin as well. But what do we do about the realtors that are bringing us offers? You know, are we telling them nothing on MLS direct, or is it something that's expired? Or
Yeah, so that's a good question. I can get, in some cases, I can get offers on homes that are on the MLS. In fact, we've closed several last month that were listed. Fund 2 doesn't like to do that. They don't like to play with the MLS deals.
They have a whole market.
Yeah, they have a whole on-market division that they do as well. And I get the sense that when we consistently bring them properties that are under contract, but they are listed on the MLS, it makes their on-market division look bad, right?
Understood.
But again, Fund 1, we've closed several that were listed on the MLS, and they paid $15,000, $20,000 above what the listing price was. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? I have one partner that all he would do is the for sale by owners.
Can I chase the expires? Can I chase the expired listings? Or
Expired's great. Yeah,
free.
Expired's a good. I would say that entire landlords are probably our best plays. So here's another.
No problem. I got it. I'll just shift.
Here's
I'll just shift.
another
I'll just shift.
Rob Meyer, Columbus. We got a contract on this one at 175. His estimate's 150. Inspections, they were higher, but inspections came in at like 40 above? I'll have to review it, but it was a high inspection amount where they ended up coming down on price a little bit. But again, the Zestimate on this thing is 150 and they're paying 175. It's crazy. But you know, really case by case basis is kind of how we're dealing with the different markets. This one was listed. Let me get it.
Okay, I'll just shift package. I'll shift package, check expires, offer MLS. I got it. No problem on my end.
No, I mean, again, they're buying some listed deals, but I just wouldn't make it like your main strategy, if that makes sense.
No problem. I'll shift the plan. That's all. I'm with you either way, bro.
All right, so check this. Boom. This one was listed. You can still, it's still pending because our partner made an offer. He just called Zillow. Actually, this might have been a for sale by owner. I think that either way, the fund is buying this one at 420, right? And going back to your buy box, you can see Denver, they have a higher purchase price, right? Denver's a big one. Seattle, they'll buy up to 500,000. Where's Seattle? 500.